So I did call over to Jamaica. There's a story that's going viral right now. St. Andrew's High School for Girls over in Jamaica is a school that has posted online that the girls coming into their school are not allowed to wear their edges laid. So the post says, "Reminder students, please be advised that the wearing of edges is now officially banned on campus. Remember, curtains belong in the house, not on foreheads,"
Damn.
with the sweating emoji.
Now, what's the
Let's
science behind this, Lord? Like, what is the reason why? What's the reason?
Does it block your knowledge as it come in? The curtains blocks your brain? Like, what's the problem?
Hey guys, welcome back to Carib 21 Network. So last week, Jamaica went viral from St. Andrew High School for Girls, where they put out a statement banning girls from wearing their edges, and that apparently is some new hairstyle that the girls are wearing. And this is crazy. Like, I've never seen anything gone so viral in Jamaica. And this is just over a hairstyle and what young girls are doing in school and what the rules that the school they're trying to uphold. And it's one thing for it to go viral in Jamaica, but to turn on mainstream media in America, in Canada, in the United Kingdom, right across the world. And this was the trending topic right across the world. This was crazy to see. This just shows me how things have changed in the world that we're living in, that in 2025, like a school putting a restriction on young girls' hairstyle, that could go viral. Because this, if you are from Jamaica, if you're from the Caribbean, this should not go viral. If you are from the Caribbean, if you're from Jamaica, this should not go viral because schools in the Caribbean, schools in Jamaica, they are very conservative. And to see some of the ridiculous takes coming from mainstream media in America, in Canada, and in the United Kingdom, talking about women's rights, girls' rights, black girls not being allowed to be themselves, and all of this nonsense, it just make you realize that, look, people in America, people in Canada, and the United Kingdom have no idea what is going on in the Caribbean. And a lot of people just jump onto social media and they were putting out some ridiculous takes that just let them look stupid. But thankfully, like most Jamaicans, even Jamaicans in the diaspora who have been through the school system and know that this is not new. This is something that Jamaica and other places in the Caribbean have been upholding with our uniform system for decades. So I'm going to just play some video of some of the reactions from some of the Jamaicans living in the diaspora reacting to this video going viral.
Jamaican High School for Girls has banned edges and it is causing outrage. Some people in the comments are calling it racial profiling. And I just want to say, you're probably from America, maybe from the UK. Either way, you're not Jamaican calling out racial profiling for a school policy. So keep on moving. Others are saying, what does hair have to do with education? And I want to say precisely, babes, precisely. Because when you're a high school student, I happen to think that you should be thinking about your education and not your edges. Other people are like, oh, surely there are bigger things to talk about. And I'm like, well, yes, I agree with you. We shouldn't have to talk about edges in Jamaica because I see this as like one step towards infiltration from like cable television that is ruining our culture of schools and basically watering down the system. Because as a Jamaican who went to the UK and I was completely appalled by how I saw people wearing uniforms. I've done videos about this before, about girls with their skirts so short you can almost see what falling out of where. I have seen girls with wigs, with weaves, with edges, with nails, with lashes. The list goes on. And I happen to think that a teenager should not be thinking of school as a fashion show, as my dad would say, but you should be thinking of school for school. So I think that whilst you might think that, oh, it's just edges, I think that your focus, babe, it's all in the wrong places. And you might think that, oh, well, it's just a pointless rule. And I happen to think that sometimes we need to bring structure into school. We need to bring rules because rules sometimes need to be followed. And if you're like me, when I was in school, no, I did not follow all the rules. But you know what? It taught me how to get away with what I wanted. The fact that there was some structure there taught me how are you going to navigate life in such a way that you can still remain respectful, but sometimes you do need to learn how to push a boundary. However, it was never with my hair, it was never with a hairstyle. And let's be honest, okay, the whole put your hair from here and take it over yasso down to your eyebrow and just swoops with the gel, I personally don't understand it. I don't think it looks cute, and so maybe that's why I don't like this style anyway, and therefore the rule doesn't bother me. But the point is, as a mother of two young girls, do I want them going to school and the first thing that is on their mind is how their hair is gelled down to their forehead? head? No, babes. I want them to go to school and I want them to think about the types of adult human beings that they're going to be. I want them to get educated academically, socially, every early sports, all the things that really matter. And for me, your hair should not be your number one priority when you're in school. And that becomes like the focus. That becomes how people kind of identify, how they categorize, how they section out the cliques, how they become bullies over here. Like, no, I'm not into it. So do I support this rule? 100%.
Okay, so as you can see, that's a different perspective. That's a perspective from someone that went through the Jamaican school system, and when she was young, she would probably have a problem with it. But now, as an adult, she can see the benefits. And as I said, the fact that this went viral is so crazy. And let me give you an example, because if you grew up in Jamaica and you went to school in Jamaica and you're used to the system, this is not about race. This is not about trying to suppress women, and they're not even women, they're young girls going to school, you know. So people, some of the takes coming out of people from America and Canada, as I said, some crazy takes. So let me give you an example. This is not about the banning. This has nothing to do with hair. Like it, yeah, the conversation is around the hairstyle or whatever. Has nothing to do with hair. It's nothing to do with young girls. It's about the school system. And for decades in the Jamaican school system, trend is not something that the school system upholds with. Let me give you an example. Going to school in the 80s, in the 80s and 90s, we had when we had Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing was a Jamaican basketball player that went to the NBA back in the days, and Patrick Ewing's shoes was big in Jamaica. And going to high school, going to all-age school, going to primary school, if you go to one of those traditional school, because the thing with Jamaica also, there are school options. There are schools in Jamaica where girls can wear as much edges as they want and nobody's going to say anything. But a lot of the traditional schools that get good results in terms of education, the proof is in the pudding. They get good results. Those schools are where everybody wants to send their children, because those kids are the ones that get the Caribbean examination pass. Those kids are the ones that take up the space in the universities in Jamaica. So they're strict, but they get the results. So back to my story. So back in the days when we had a Patrick Ewing and we had British Nike, I don't know if people remember those shoes. You could not wear a Patrick Ewing shoes to school. Your shoes have to be fully black. Your shoes have to be polished when you're coming to school. So that's just one example, and that's, I'm talking about guys. Back in the days, we used to have the pleats in your pants, where like the MC Hammer type pants came in back in the days, and used to make your own uniform, and people were tempted to make the MC Hammer type pants as in with their khaki material and wear to school, and you could not wear that. You know, there's a lot of things that we could not. When tight pants came in, as boys, you could not wear tight pants to school. The principal send you back home and say, go find fitted pants. So this is not about the hairstyle. This is about the trends in Jamaica. The school system, especially traditional school system, don't deal with trend. Focus on your education and not the trend. So it is just so interesting that Jamaicans can understand that, but people from America, Canada, who are outraged about this thing, don't seem to understand. So let me play another video of someone, I think she's from the UK, and she gets what's going on.
So I heard that they banned edges in schools in Jamaica, and I think it's amazing. They need to ban everything over here, everything. Because right about now, the children are too enough. They're just too enough. You know, when you was younger, your mum used to say, I don't really like that little girl, you know, because she's too enough. Now I'm sorry, everybody's child is too enough. Like, it's actually ridiculous. I'm in the classroom and I'm saying every minute, hello, can you put away the mirror, please? Excuse me, can you put away the mascara, please? Why have you done your lip gloss about 50 times? Your lips are about to drop off. Can you put it away? The next one's got our eyelash curler. You're rude. I don't even own one. The next girl had a whole mirror, A4 size with lights around it and a stand. You're extremely rude, young lady. Go and put back your mother's things in her bathroom, because it's teeth. I know your teeth and your parents' things. One of the little girls had little lip gloss. Miss, do you like my lip gloss? It's Yves Saint Laurent. You're rude. You don't even concentrate in French, and you're telling me about Yves Saint Laurent. I have to ask them, what time is it in the morning that you're waking up? I need to understand, because in the morning, I am literally looking like I'm homeless, like I crawled out of the tent underneath the subway, and I'm looking little change for pasta later on. It's definitely giving mad gal. I'm outside looking like a fiend. Hello, where is the Nest Cafe? And you lot are looking like you're ready for New York Fashion Week. It's not making sense. I don't understand it. There needs to be a ban on everything because they're so interested in everything about their appearance. They are not studying their books. They're in the classroom and they're worried about the edges. They're worried about all these things. The edges has got so much style and pattern. It's giving art attack. That's what it's giving. I need to understand what time in the morning you lot are waking up to put on this production because it's a whole thing that's going on. And here, there's me, lip dry, bare things, and I'm just in the classroom like, hello, because it's giving supermodel. And let me not even get started on the short skirts.
Okay, so it's very interesting to see the different reaction from different places. So we growing up in the Caribbean and growing up in Jamaica, and this is very we're accustomed to this type of stuff. There are rules in school and rules you have to follow, and these are the rules that make you the man and the woman that you turn out to be. And most of us understand that. Of course, there are always people who push back on some of these rules, but to see people in North America going crazy over a school trying to restrict the whole idea of edges. It is just ridiculous. And let me give you an example because, you know, as someone grew up in the Jamaican school system, and now I live outside of Jamaica, and I took my son to school the other day, and my son is from grade 1 to grade 5 school, and taking him back to school the other day and seeing like kids in grade 5, like we saw this young girl first day back at school, and she was in a gothic look. And I don't know if you understand gothic, with the black lipstick, like the piercings and stuff. And I'm talking about grade 5 with like a skull, like one of those shirt with skulls on them. And I'm talking about someone that is like in my son's age. Just imagine, you know, so it is just ridiculous. And people are not freaking out about those things that is going on in North America. People are not freaking out about boys and girls sharing the same bathroom. And one of the things too, also, when you go into some of the schools now, there are more LGBTQ flag than they are the country flags in the school. But people are not freaking out about that, but people are freaking out about the school restricting hairstyle. So that is just crazy to me. So let me play one more reaction, and this is someone, also a teacher, who knows about the Jamaican school system. So you'll see the difference in terms of the reactions.
Don't wear the edges. The edges are not allowed. Edges are restricted. That is a big talk of its own. As a teacher, of course, I want to share my opinions on this. Time and place. That's all I have to say first. Time and place. And I feel like it's not just the edges. The problem I feel as a teacher is that the edges is one of those factors that students have used to shift, or to allow it rather, to shift their focus from learning. It could have been the shoes too. It could have been the hair. It could have been the bag. There's so many things that could cause these children to lack the focus that they need during instruction time. And so I feel like we're focusing on why do you don't want to wear edges and this and that. I'm all for females to be looking good. Young females need to look put together, smell good, look clean. When they look good, they feel good. And when you feel good, you're confident and you're ready to learn. I'm all for that life. What I'm not all about is you not making sure that your priorities are straight. You come to school to get an education, not to focus on the edges, not to focus on the bag, not to focus on the name brand shoes. Because I feel like, especially this generation these days, listen to me, we have to keep them intact. But at the same time, you have to allow them express themselves. So it's a lot of perspectives out there that needs to be considered. However, you have to think about it. Probably the school I talked about it long time, and they're not abiding by the rule. Because probably must say, dear edge man, we're not be so outrageous when you come in a class with gel and edge brush and all these things. And I'm not saying that's what they're doing, but there had to be warnings and something like that if you reach this breaking point. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But anyway, time and place. Time and place to everything. Nothing wrong with the tool. You could edge them, but nobody make it edge them, edge you out your education. You understand? Cool.
Okay, so yes, another perspective from another teacher. And I'm going to ask if you're from America, if you're from Canada, you have never been to the Caribbean school system, I'm going to ask this question. Why was this so outrageous to you? And why, one of the things I realized, because as I said, as someone that in the Jamaican school system, and when I saw this, I'm like, I felt like I was in a twilight zone, because this, I just couldn't fathom that this could go so viral and people could go so crazy over the fact that a school wanted to uphold certain rules and say, look, like the edges are not allowed and whatever. It's one thing when you talk about, like, for example, the Rastafarian story that came out years ago. That is a different thing, because that is like religion. It's one thing if you're going to say like you can't wear your religious head cover. That is a different thing. But for decades, this has been Jamaican policy. Back in the days, in the 80s, I actually did Jerry curls my hair when Michael Jackson was a big deal, and Michael Jackson with a Jerry curl. And I'm like, I want Jerry curl too. And I had to take it out. You can't wear Jerry curl, go to school. And it's a man. It's not like suppressing women expressing themselves and all of that. A man, Jerry curls was not allowed. As I said, tight pants, not allowed. Like certain jewelry, whether if you can't wear Jordans, you can't wear, like, those things are not allowed. You come to school and you go to school as a child and you go learn. And as I said, there are school choices. There are schools that allow everything you want to wear in Jamaica. The reality is that the schools like St. Andrew High and some of those schools who are very strict, they have the results. Those kids are the kids that are going to University of the West Indies. Those kids are the kids that's going to UTech. Those kids are the ones that go into America, to Canada, to the UK to study higher level education. So I don't understand why this was such a big deal. And as I said, for my Americans and my Canadians, like, if you're comfortable in the school system in Canada, in America, allowing your boys to go to school or allowing your kids to go to a school where freedom of expression, a boy can wear a dress to school. A boy can wear a pink dress to school and a purse and everything, and it's justified and say, like, look, this is how you feel, and we should allow him to do that. So if you can be comfortable with that in the American system, why is it so outrageous that Jamaica is upholding like something, a more conservative value? That is what people need to think about. People who are upset about this, that is what they should think about. So guys, tell me what you think about this in the comment section. Were you as surprised that a story like this in Jamaica would go so viral that America, Canada, the UK, like, I'm not talking about just social media, I'm talking about mainstream media, the Breakfast Club, talk shows on TV, we're talking about this story. Are you surprised? Let me know in the comment section.
Ashley Barkers, what is that you're wearing?
So my ears just bore. I'm off keeping.
I am not talking about that. Why you have to bring curtain to my class, Ashley?
Curtains, miss?
Curtain belong on your yard, not on your forehead.
Miss, you mean edges?
Who are you trying to seduce with your curtains, Miss Ashley?
No one, miss. But it's not.
Yard. Look what you did to Bob already.
I think this one just need help.
So you're talking back to me now, Ashley?
Miss, we're having
What
a
have I
conversation.
ever done to you to make you want this upon my class? You want your class to fail
I can
this
just
badly.
remove
Never
it,
in
miss.
my 16 years of teaching.
Miss, you do realize you also have edges?
Yes, right there. Please hurry before things get out of hand.